Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Coming up, reservoirs like this one, Buellwater in Kent, are open for business up and down the country. I'm finding out what they have to offer. We're out rabbiting with rifles, that's fairly deadly, but we've got Andy Crow. Talking of crows, stone the crows. Well, you don't need to if you've got a Winchester SX3. We're on corvid patrol in Cumbria. But first, April the 1st is the opening of the roebuck season in the UK, and we're out with Roy Lupton after a gold medal buck, and he is no April Fool.
It's amazing what you can get for quality sperm these days. In this case, Roy has a gold medal buck with his name on it. Fear not, it's all thanks to his golden eagle, Cappy, delivering the goods at this hormone-fueled time of year. It's a promising, if not successful, first 2 minutes on this ground in Hampshire. On approaching a wood, we spot movement. In all, 5 deer take off, 2 straight across the field.
Those first ones were a bit jumpy. We're literally just starting to go into the wood along the footpath, and 5 broke. Right, came running back, and 2 have gone across the field. I don't know if the other 3 have gone across the field. They might just still be tucked in there, but there's quite a few deer on the ground, so we should be alright. It's a shame that was a perfect candidate. The buck that was going across, it was a young buck that was going across that, so it would have been just about right for opening the account this year on the road. So we'll go back up the top and see if we can find a few more.
As we're early, Roy's not worried that we might have had our chance and fancies a squeak for a muntjac. During the pheasant shooting season, the shoot spotted quite a number moving about.
All I want to do is see if there's any amorous muntjac bucks about, so we'll just give a bit of a squeak with the patello. It's really because we've arrived quite early for stalking this evening, so it seemed like too good an opportunity to miss to see if we could get a muntjac before we go for the roe. So we'll give them a few squeaks through the wood and see if we can get one coming in.
They squeak 'em here, they squeak 'em there, without any show. We double back, and the last 3 of the 5 row have heard or spotted us.
The 2 does came bolting out past us and went round, and the young buck that we were after has gone hair-arsing down the field and gone into the next wood, so it's a shame. What I wanted to do was try and get into position on this corner, because this is where the deer normally feed out from, and wait for them to come out across, but we were just a little bit late. Then again, even if we were 5-10 minutes later, it would have been better because they would have been out feeding, and then we could have stalked in on them, but just a case of bad timing on that one.
Roy decides to sit on the corner of this wood for 10 minutes to see if anything else decides to show. We're covered by land and air. Nope, let's move on. We move to the other side of the estate, where hopefully the deer are less jumpy. We spot 2 does way down in the field below us. A little closer is this hare. With the wind in our faces, he makes his way towards us. Within a few feet, he notices a couple of large lumps in the hedgerow and trots off. The sun is dropping in the sky and the pressure is starting to build.
We've got a doe. Oh, hang on, there's another deer there. There's a doe and a kid, or a doe and a following out down there. No bucks out at the moment. All the bucks are laying low at the moment.
There's been no whiff of a decent buck, and we're not getting anywhere near a suitable cull animal, which is going to be our plan B. We stumble across a group, and there are a couple of young bucks having a bit of a tussle. Engrossed, we think we can move the vehicle back and work out how to get into a safe shooting position. But when we return on foot, they've broken off. One buck is still in sight, but on the edge of the woodland across open ground.
I mean, I'm hoping he might decide just to come trawling back out across, in which case we could get a shot. Can you see him just going across along there? He's just browsing along the edge of the wood there. Right, let's just try and get over and see if we can get any closer. So we've got a buck standing just there, but it's unfortunately one of those situations where we can't do anything with him because the wind is coming from my back towards us. And it's only an open stalk across open ground to get to him this way. And the only other way to do it would be to come around behind him and come across, but then our wind would be completely wrong. So I think we're better off going and seeing if we can find somebody else. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get onto this one.
The sun shines on the righteous, and in this case, Roy. As we walk back, he spots another group of deer on the field below us.
He's perfect. We've got three other deer just a little bit further back. So there's a doe with 2 of last year's kids, and then that young buck further up.
We crawl under the trees to get a clearer shot and look at the buck. As we settle, he makes a timely exit.
Oh, you...
There's a theme developing here. Roy has a proper look at the group that the buck has just left. There's another possible cull animal in the middle with his backside towards us. At this distance, Roy wants to wait for a broadside shot. He ambles forward a few paces, clear of the doe, but then plays the joker.
Oh, he's late. He's couched up. This is just what you want. We've got fading light. Perfect opportunity at a young roebuck. And he couches up, arse end onto us. At too much of a range for me to be happy for a decent shot on the neck. Okay. Be bold. We're just going to have to change plan now, because otherwise we're going to lose the light. We could be waiting another 10-15 minutes for him to stand up, so...
Surely the Lupton luck and good fortune hasn't started to fade. Time for Plan C. As we leave our nettle-infested position, we discover the 2 bucks who were fighting 15 minutes ago are back. We now have a second chance at these.
It's typical, isn't it? The first couple of hours we didn't see a roebuck, and now we're just pinned down by bucks, but none of them are in shootable positions, so we daren't move. At the moment, I'm hoping they're just going to wander down and come into a position where we can shoot.
They're not going to move, so we have to go to them. We make our way back to the top of this field and work down towards them. The wind is in our favour. They're pretty settled and it's all going very well, but then you think you account for everything.
Oh, shit. That's typical. We put a hare up, the hare ran along, ran straight into the deer and lifted them. Right, we really have got to rush now. We are losing light. It's one of them days.
Right, back to the couched up deer on the other field to see if he's moved. Thankfully, all 3 are on their feet in a line along the field's edge. The buck's in front.
Okay, I just need him to take a couple more steps. He's clawing away, which isn't great, but stop again, son. Okay. Talk about the 11th hour. Gee whiz. Couldn't have left it any later. I mean, lights literally just going on us there. And I thought I was going to blank with all these deer around me on 1st of April. But we've just got a perfect management or a cull buck down there. So, yeah. Oh, finally, success for the evening. We'll have a trundle over there. But, I mean, that was just manic, wasn't it? Absolutely superb. We had bucks coming out of the woods all over the place. Phenomenal when it works like that, isn't it?
Roy has made a fantastic 300-yard shot on this animal. Practice and good kit means we have an ideal cull animal at last light.
It just stopped perfectly, slightly quartering away. And we took the shot and we've got that's the exit wound just there. So, yeah, good go. He's a young buck from last year. Obviously his first set of antlers coming through. Obviously still in velvet. So he wouldn't have cleared for a little while yet. And there was him, his mum and his sister having a wander up. And as I say, an absolute perfect little cull animal for the start of the season.
It's been an exceptional evening stalk. The sheer variety of animals, shooting conditions, limitations and spanners in the works means that Roy doesn't have his gold, but he's worked hard enough to deserve it on his next trip out.
Roy always on the lookout for points on his antlers there. Now it's over to a master of the pointless, David, on the Fieldsports channel, News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Britain News. Now, do you know where we have the most guns in England and Wales? The Guardian newspaper has produced a map of legal gun ownership, presumably to frighten its readers. As gun ownership hits a record high, the winners are Mid Wales and East Anglia. Dyfed-Powys boasts 56,618 legally held guns, 11 guns for every 100 people. Interesting that the Guardian's map of gun crime is almost the exact opposite of its legally held gun map. Prime Minister David Cameron has written in the Countryside Alliance magazine about his love of rural Britain. He also reaffirms his commitment to repeal the hunting ban. He says, "I marched for the countryside, opposed the hunting ban, and the government I lead has promised a free vote among all MPs on repeal in this Parliament." New deer shooting rules have come into force in Scotland. They give all the power to Scottish Natural Heritage, which now issues licences for out-of-season culling and has the authority to allow night shooting. And finally, a feather in the cap for this programme. Fieldsports Britain's been selected by YouTube as a YouTube show, which means we're listed alongside the BBC's Top Gear and Channel 5's Fifth Gear in the listings on YouTube. You can visit youtube.com/shows/Fieldsports Britain and even subscribe to the programme there. Go on. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Britain news. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Now, reservoir fishing is opened all over the country, and I've come to Buell Water in Kent to find out more about it.
We're heading out to the fish cages on the south side of Buell Water. H2O from here quenches the thirsts of thousands of homeowners, but no longer their gardens in the southeast. Well, sorry to all you gardeners, but thank goodness for that. This is the perfect habitat for trout. Lots of trout, and this morning we are going to be adding some more.
We trickle stock about 1,000 fish a week into the lake, which maintains a good level of fish ability, if you like. Not too easy, not too hard. Rob and Mark are just getting the boat ready. We have a tank on the boat, and we fill the tank up with water, and then we transfer the fish into the tank and we distribute them all around the lake.
The anglers close to the nets aren't daft. They know there are a few decent whoppers who stay close to home, mopping up the scraps dropping through the water column.
There are fish that are resident here, and it does attract quite a few fishermen to this area because there's a good chance of catching a bigger fish around here because they're still getting the high protein feed, and if they live under here for a few years, they can attain double figure weights, you know, 10 pound plus. So it's a good place to try and catch one of the bigger fish in Buell.
A few 8 to 10 pounders show their colours as James throws some food out of bounds. Not all fish are quite big enough for the big wide world. The sub 2 pounders are thrown back for another day. Two varieties of trout are available to fishermen here, blue trout and rainbow. So what's the difference?
Their muscle density is apparently more compact, and it does make them a stronger fighting fish. And they're a good looking fish as well. They both are, but yeah, certainly the fishermen like them. They fight very well. It's a stockier fish, you can tell. You can see broad across the back, slightly more so than the rainbow. But just nice to have the variety of the two fish, really, plus brown trout as well. But I think they've been out of the water long enough, so I'll pop them back.
Time to start putting some of these fish in open water, but you don't just plonk them anywhere.
Big waters like this will buy the fish in, and they'll be delivered by lorry, and they'll only have 1 or 2 access points, and they'll dump 2,000 fish in one particular spot. And yes, you do get a bit of a feeding frenzy because the fishermen know these hot spots and they will see the fish being delivered, and quite often they'll stay in that environment until they've got used to their surroundings, so there will be easy pickings for a while. But the benefit of doing it this way is it gives everyone an equal opportunity to spread the fish around, and where they go after that is anyone's guess. But by doing it like this, yeah, it just gives the lake a good even stocking.
With 1,000 fish being added today, and with this sort of inside information, I should be onto a winner as I head off with my rod and my little box of dreams.
Reservoir fishing. Not a very precise science, according to most anglers. And here they're recommending something black with a bit of green in it. So here we are, variety of black and green flies. I'm going to start with a thing that looks a bit like a kind of acid house Alexandra.
The water and the weather are warm, but the fish are not coming to the boat. The best local anglers are going to the fish.
I have to say I'm taking this personally. The bulge in his throat. I hope you choke.
Invented just a few decades ago, modern reservoir fishing is at the height of its popularity, and it's easy to see why. Hundreds of thousands of people enjoy the price, the accessibility and the sport that's on offer.
Fieldwater had its 34th season last year, and it was a record. They caught more trout last year than ever before.
Certainly last year we had a very good season, and with the variety of fish, I think the word spread and people came back regularly.
When the reservoirs were first conceived, it was all about providing water for the cities. Walthamstow for London, Chew Valley for Bristol. The leisure side of it came later, the duck shooting, the dinghies, the fly fishing. Many people said the fly fishing wouldn't work. Why would you want to leave the chalk streams, they argued? Well, the chalk streams effectively priced themselves out of this market. And the great thing was that the water boards, the lakes trusts all adopted fly fishing and made it fabulous. What's not to like about this place? It's perfect leisure, right side of the brain activity. God does not count against you time spent fishing. Well, Crowman had a lot of success here last week. He got 5 fish when we haven't quite got so many. This week he's concentrating on rabbits.
Andy Crow is a very busy man. This evening he's only got an hour to go rabbiting, so he needs to make it count. The father and son dream team is in place, so is his Anschutz rifle and 1.7 Hornady rounds.
I've had the Anschutz now, I had that about 4, yeah, this bit's 4 seasons. It's a good rifle, it's wiped the rabbits out here. Me and Andy, the boy, we usually go out, we usually used to go out twice a week, shoot between 60 and 80. Both times we went out, no trouble at all. But now we haven't been out since beginning of February. But you won't see much difference in the rabbits. There's just not many about the place because well, me and the boy did hammer them a bit. And it's all down to, well, I say it's down to the 1.7. With the 2.2, you're limited with range. But with this, the range is a lot further. And providing that bullet hits them, they're going nowhere anyway. So it's a lovely round, I love it. Tonight there's no wind at all, which is ideal for this thing, because it only wants a little bit of wind and it blows it off. But it's been mild and we've had a bit of a day on the old pigeons today, so we're going to go out and see if we can shoot a few rabbits just to finish the day off.
The crops are making excellent progress in the unseasonably warm weather, so spotting rabbits might be tricky. But where they've been active, they've left themselves out in the open. The 1.7 makes a cracking noise and this fast, flat round really knocks these rabbits flying. We hurl around the crops and then onto the pasture. The animals are easily spooked tonight and Crowman thinks it could be because it's such a bright night. Nevertheless, he's picking them off at a decent rate. Some of the bunnies in the back look pretty young.
A bit late out tonight, but it's surprising. You don't usually get too many youngsters, but what we got here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 old ones in there, and the same with youngsters. But the first ones we shot were the youngsters. They're a bit jumpy tonight, considering they haven't been shot at, but there's a bit of moon about as well, so it doesn't help the job, but we're getting a few. It's not as many as I expected to see. I expect to see a few more. They are, like I say, they're a bit jumpy tonight.
It's a good thing though if you don't see too many, isn't it? Because it
makes you do a good job. Yeah, that's right, yeah. But it don't pay for cartridges.
Most fields deliver a few chances and Crow rarely needs a second bite of the cherry. At the end of the hour we have 29 rabbits, one every 2 minutes. Considering the place is not overrun, that's efficient shooting in anyone's book.
Well, spring is definitely here, and in the north of England, lambing is getting underway. Well, that means corvids are on farmers' minds. Here's one man who spends his winters keeping them under control.
Going back to when it was cold, it is this man from Kendal in Cumbria's job to keep down the local corvid population. Crows are blamed for eating the eyes out of baby lambs as they're being born. Rooks damage crops and jackdaws steal nestlings and eggs. It is often said by the wise that the trickier the quarry, the earlier you have to wake up and the more and better kit you need. This crow controller is no slouch on kit.
Just put the lofting bird up there. There's an old dead tree just in the woods there that the sentinel birds tend to sit in, right at the very top. And if we can stop them sitting up there by putting one up here, hopefully they'll be a bit less wary and come into the park a bit better.
The birds are within sight but not within shot. Despite feeding them in and passing them feeding their daily as nonchalantly as he can, they are showing no interest in the food today. Corvids are better at counterintelligence than the KGB.
They just come in and eating all the cattle feed, going in and out of the barns and taking the feed, so farmers having to pay for feeding the crows, so that's just to come and get rid of them.
And this is a free service you provide?
It is, yeah. It's all funded by myself. Don't get anything for doing it, other than the joy of being out and shooting the crows.
After dawn does her stuff and floods the Lakeland fells with sunlight, even this weak, wintry sort, we must be highly visible, so it's time to move. The new farm we go to has more natural cover. It's on top of a small hill and birds can appear suddenly from any angle. At last, the only bird to come close enough for a shot. So what kind of gun is best for this work?
I've got the SX3, that's the 5-shot, so it's on my firearm certificate. I've also got the Winchester Select over and under, which I use on sort of shoot days, proper shoot days. But for crows and pigeons and things, then it's the SX3 all the way.
Why do you like it?
Very reliable, had no problems with it. Very rarely jams up, and if it does, it's because I've not cleaned it properly. And it cycles whatever you put through it, so no problems. Shoots well.
Now, it's not been a very big day today. You have had big days up on these farms?
Yeah, typically you'd shoot anywhere between sort of 20 and 50 birds here. I've had 100 bird days and some cracking shooting. When it's good, it's on a par with a good pheasant day and good sport.
Well, creeping up on crows with a shotgun has its own problems. One way to really surprise a crow is by using a long-distance rifle, and that's what Ian Harford's doing this week on Team Wild's TV. If you click on the angry buck, you can watch it now. Well, we're back next week, and if you're watching this on YouTube, please don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button that's somewhere up there on the screen above my head, or go to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv, and you scroll down to the bottom where you can put your email address into the constant contact form, or click to like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, and we'll send you news of our programme every week when it's out, Wednesdays 7 PM. This has been Fieldsports Britain. Fishless, but happy.